The American Red Cross says there's an emergency blood shortage nationwide, and it's calling on more people to roll up their sleeves and donate. Blood donations can help save lives. We know that. The Red Cross says every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. desperately needs blood. It's vital for surgeries, cancer treatment, and chronic illnesses. In fact, about 29,000 units of red blood cells are needed every day here in the U.S. But supply doesn't always meet demand. A mother in the North Bay says donating blood was something that barely crossed her mind until a small amount helped save her son's life. Our Sean Chitness has more on the day that changed everything and how it inspires them to keep donating years later.
Jordan Woodside knows her children are lucky to be alive. She thinks about it each day. Moments like driving to pick them up from school are ones she never takes for granted.
It's not lost on me that things could have gone completely differently.
When her son Rylan was only 8 weeks old, he almost died. The family was at a wedding and Rylan had not been well all day. They could tell something wasn't right just by how he looked in this picture they took of him that day. After more symptoms started to concern them, they called to see if it might be serious.
The advice nurse chatted with the doctor for a few seconds and then got back on the phone and said, we're going to need you to go to the nearest emergency room.
Rylan had a malrotation and needed surgery to untwist his intestine.
He went from healthy baby to coding in the ER within a matter of maybe 4 hours.
A blood transfusion helped stabilize him so he could be ready for surgery.
It was a Sunday morning. I remember this. I was out walking the dog.
Dr. Carrie Sullivan is a pediatric surgeon who operated on Rylan that day. She says surgeries on babies always require special blood, and there's an ongoing concern to make sure they have enough.
In many of the operations I do, blood is crucial to getting someone through the operation safely.
It's fine. Oh, damn it.
Jordan knows the surgery saved her son's life, and today Rylan's a healthy boy about to turn 5.
Where's my gun to get in?
Up until then, Jordan says she hadn't thought much about giving blood, never donating before except for once in high school.
I can't imagine how scary it would have been if there's like a blood shortage and like maybe they don't have whatever he needed in that moment.
For Rylan's first birthday, they hosted a mobile blood drive with family and friends. They continue to donate blood regularly as often as they can.
We just wanted to make an impact in a positive way in honor of his life.
It's a lifelong commitment to help others just as someone did for them when it mattered most.
Coming up, a San Francisco woman also needed blood when she nearly died after giving birth. Coming up, how she got the chance to thank the strangers who saved her life. And another woman who knows firsthand the importance of blood donation joins us live in studio to share her story. Stay with us. What if you could say thank you to the people who saved your life? People who give the gift of life without ever knowing who they might save. Well, as Ryan Yamamoto reports, one San Francisco woman got that chance after she nearly died after giving birth to her daughter.
When Emily Peters scrolls through her life, she can't help but smile.
I loved it. I loved being huge and taking up tons of space.
A big sense of joy, especially when she finds photos of herself from 6 years ago.
I was one of those annoying people who really loved being pregnant.
And on August 2nd, 2016, she gave birth to a perfect 8-pound baby girl named Lucy.
I remember the light kind of shining down on her, and she was so big and so cute.
But that joy quickly turned dark.
So this is the last photo of me from right before I bled to death, basically.
Complications from the pregnancy, a torn artery, left Emily in a fight for her life.
So the only thing that they can really do for you in that situation is give you, blood transfusion after blood transfusion.
She needed 32 transfusions equal to all the blood in her body 9 times over. But thanks to the doctors and staff at UCSF, Emily was able to pull through.
They just kept giving me more and more and more. And that's what saved my life, ultimately. Wow. Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the North Bay, Kathy Shute was doing what Kathy Shute had been doing every 8 weeks for the past 34 years.
I've donated at least 10 gallons, I want to say.
And what a treat 5 years ago when she got a phone call asking if she wanted to meet a woman whose life she saved with her donation.
I just wanted to see somebody and to know I made a difference with somebody, and it was nice to see that.
And that somebody,
thank you for my life.
Just happened to be Emily Peters.
Thank you for being here so that I can say thank you to you.
A reunion of gratitude and hugs, several longtime donors, including Kathy, putting a face to their donation, a donation that saved a life.
I think everybody cried.
Did you cry?
I did. I did cry.
It was so powerful emotionally to see these people who had saved my life, who had no idea that they had saved my life. So this is me getting to meet my daughter Lucy for the first time.
One life created, one life saved, all thanks to strangers who gave the gift of life, one pint at a time.
There's a lot of women who go through a situation like mine and they don't have this happy ending picture. They don't have the photo of the family being reunited and everything turning out okay. It makes me really grateful.
Well, Emily now travels around the world sharing her story and telling people about the importance of giving blood. And joining me now is Kevin Adler with the nonprofit blood services provider Vitalant and Sarah Endeman. Thank you so much for joining us. This is such an important topic. I mean, we were even mentioning in the commercial break that this is the United States. And we're talking about a blood shortage. We're the most powerful nation in the world. And we're desperate for blood? Doesn't seem right.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to get people to donate blood. I mean, 60% of the population is eligible to donate, but 3% actually do. And it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. You have a remarkable story, Sarah. Tell me about your experience with blood donation. It really saved your life.
It really did. I was pregnant with my third child about, I think it must have been 8 or 9 years ago. I think he'll be 8 this summer, so I must have been pregnant this time, 8 years ago. And during that first ultrasound they do around 20 weeks, we learned that I had a very rare condition called placenta percreta, extremely rare. Prior to so many C-sections being done, it was almost unheard of in this country.
Wow.
But of course, it's becoming more common now. And I was told that I basically had to stay close to the hospital in case of emergency, and they planned very well. But on the day of delivery, they were very well prepared. It was done in the trauma suite. They knew it was going to be bad. It prepared us for the worst. I think there must have been 20 doctors, 15 techs, blood supply, everything ready to go. And even with all those precautions in place, I think I lost something like close to 16 liters of blood.
Wow.
And your human body only has 5 or 6. So you can imagine 3 times over. And what I heard was that they had just a human train of nurses physically running to the blood bank to just try to revive me over and over. And a 2-hour surgery was 8 hours, and I woke up in the ICU intubated, where I spent about a week, and where I met my baby, who's now 7, almost 8. And you know, there was so much skill, there was so much planning, the best doctors, they're really wonderful, the top care, but without blood, the most simple, basic thing that our own bodies make, it wouldn't have been possible for me to be here today. And I hate to think about what I would have missed and my family and my children had there not been blood.
It was life-saving for you.
Yes.
Before this experience, have you ever thought about giving blood or?
Of course, yes, and I have.
Yeah.
But of course, even in my own life, being a busy parent, and as I've gotten older, it's been harder compared to when you're a student. It was easier, but I struggle with that myself, of course.
You know, when you hear those stories, you can't help but, okay, I want to go to the nearest blood bank right now and give. Just the thought of being able to save somebody like yourself in such a critical moment. But yet a lot of people think, I'm not going to go do it. Somebody else will go do it. What do you think is holding people back from giving blood?
Honestly, I think it's just people are scared and they're uncomfortable about the thought of donating blood.
Yeah.
But what I always tell them is just focus on the end result. Focus on someone's life is going to be saved by your donation. It's that simple. Every donation saves someone's life.
Are there certain types of blood that you especially need that are really important? If somebody at home right now is thinking, well, maybe I should donate, are there certain types that are needed as most?
Really, all types are needed.
Okay.
There are, O negative is the universal blood type. That can be transfused into any patient in a moment's notice. But really, all blood types are needed. And if you don't know your blood type, donate blood and you'll find out what your blood type is.
There you go. And just walk us through the process of what it's like to give blood. Because I think, as we mentioned, that is kind of part of the anxiety of really not knowing what to expect.
Well, the whole process takes less than an hour.
Okay.
The actual donation itself is about 10 to 15 minutes. So you go in, you register, you go through a brief health history, you donate blood, you eat some snacks afterwards, replenish your fluids, and you're doing something wonderful. You're saving someone's life in about an hour.
Yeah, and give us some perspective on just one donation, how big a difference that can make.
You're standing next to it right now.
Wow.
Really, one donation can save up to 3 lives.
Up to 3 lives.
A whole blood donation is broken into 3 different blood parts: red cells, plasma, and platelets. So that one donation can really touch and save 3 lives.
Oh, that really brings it home. Okay, so we know that there's blood events going on year-round, but is there something coming up that we can be aware of, or where people can find more information, how they can donate?
Well, right now we're trying to make people aware that, of course, blood is needed every single day, traumatic events. But a lot of people don't know that 1 in 83 moms, like Sarah, need blood because of childbirth complications. So we're asking, hey, it's May, it's Mother's Day, donate during this month, honor mom, honor someone that you know who's touched your life, who's important to you. Donate and save someone's life.
Yeah, it's important to remember, too, that, if you want to do something to give back and maybe you don't have the means to do it financially, giving blood is a great way to do that. And just look at who you're saving.
Yep, it doesn't cost anything.
I'm so glad that you're here. And where can people go for more information? Your website?
Yep, go to Vitalant.org. There are 6 donation centers in the Bay Area. We do about 100+ blood drives, community blood drives, every single month. One's convenient for you.
Oh, wonderful. Kevin, Sarah, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being here.
Thank you.
All right, well, before giving blood, you may want to watch what you eat, how certain foods could trigger a side effect. And remember, you can watch us anytime, anywhere on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. Catch all of our live newscasts plus news and weather updates throughout the day. You can find us on the free CBS News app or on Pluto TV. Researchers in Japan say it matters what you eat before giving blood. They found people with food allergies could have a reaction if they got blood from donors who had milk, wheat, or eggs in their system. They say kids are at the higher risk for allergic reactions from transfusions. And for decades, gay and bisexual men were prevented from giving blood. The FDA and Biden administration eased those rules last year. Now, the FDA's original ban on blood donations goes back to the AIDS crisis back in the 80s after some patients received infected blood. There are, however, still some restrictions. The most controversial one is the ban on donors who take the widely used HIV prevention medicine known as PrEP. Scientists say the rule is there because PrEP can give false negative results in screenings. The Red Cross says this is progress, but there's more work to be done to make donations even more inclusive. And remember, if you would like to give blood, there are donation centers across the Bay Area. This is a list of some of their websites. You can make an appointment online. It's really easy, and you have to be at least 16 years old and weigh at least 110 pounds. We'll be right back. And thank you so much for joining us for today's conversation on the desperate need for blood donations. Again, there is a nationwide shortage, and if you can help out, you can save a life, maybe a few lives. CBS EV News is next right here on KPIX. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. I'll see you at 5.
Thanks for watching. You can get the latest headlines and weather over on Pix Plus. And remember to like and click the button on the bottom left of your screen to subscribe for the biggest Bay Area news.